recorded live from the secret underground lair of Crimson Cowl Comics and Collectibles. This is the Crimson Cowl Comic Club Podcast.
The following issues may contain spoilers. All we needed was a map of Duckburg. I'm Anthony.
I'm Kirby.
I'm Katie.
I'm Jim.
I'm D-Brad.
Welcome to issue number 321 of the Crimson Cowl Comic Club Podcast. Every time we record, we talk about comic books. On this week's show, we're going to do the club discussion, continuing on with our Disney Marvel mashups, this time with What If Mickey and Friends Became the Fantastic Four. Reminder of upcoming ones: Minor Arcana, Batman Full Moon, Doctor Doom and Rocket Raccoon, and What If Mickey and Friends Became the Avengers. Then we are going to do our weekly reviews. That's where we go back and forth, talk about the books that we've been reading, whether they're new, whether they're old. We're going to talk about them there. And then we're going to cover the February previews in our news segment. That's going to be the February catalogs for April releases of 2025 and beyond. We're going to cover all the catalogs there. So that is the setup for the show. Let's jump into the club discussion. First up here is What If Mickey and Friends Became the Fantastic Four? Your favorite Disney characters as Marvel's first family. Mickey has stretching powers. Minnie can turn invisible. Goofy can burst into flame. Donald has become some kind of rocky thing. With these incredible powers, they vow to help those in need as the Fantastic Four, and they'll need all of their awesome abilities if they are to succeed in their first mission together to stop Mole Pete from destroying Duckburg. But how did they get their superpowers? Find out in this fantastic origin special. This comic was done by Steve Bailing, Riccardo Secchi, Lorenzo Pastrovicchio, Lucio Rividati, and Laura Tartaglia. That's the fastest I got through those names. Whether they're correct, I don't know, but I think that was the less struggle that I've had. As always, apologies for any mangling of those names, but we'll make up for it in most likely a very positive review because we've all been talking about these books. We've all been on board with just saying how much fun they are. We'll find out soon if the streak continues with the Fantastic Four. Mickey and Friends here being cast as our characters. I'll just show this because before I give the synopsis here, I just wanted to show the awesome title page of just showing the classic lineup of our Marvel comic heroes and paired them with our Disney cast there. But yeah, this is dealing with a mission, dealing with the quote-unquote the Mole Man from Fantastic Four. While we've already have these heroes with their powers, we do get a little flashback origin story, a little twist on the Fantastic Four origin story. I'm excited to talk about that one. And then not only that, but then we do get a little origin story on Mole Pete as well. But ultimately, it is a battle to save Duckburg from these earthquakes that are being caused by Mole Pete and the army of his minions. And that is just kind of the overall setup for this one here. What we'll do here is kind of talk about our initial reactions, what we thought of this issue. D-Brad, you're our guest here. We have you on the show when we have been talking about these, being a cartoon duck enthusiast, and then just jumping into, cartoons in Disney, Mickey Mouse in general. And so we're going to kick it off with you on your initial thoughts on this issue. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I highly enjoyed every single Marvel What If that has come out. And the stories have been well done. And I think they're all plotted by the same person. But then the script will go to somebody else. And I think in this case, also the artists, what I love about it is they go to the best Disney artists they can get, because they go to Italy, and that's where you get the best Disney comic artists. And so Last few issues has been the same person drawing them. I think this is a new person drawing it in this one.
Yeah, I typically keep the credits on my notes here, but this one I did have to swap out some names. So yeah.
Yeah. Lorenzo, he did the drawing, and I thought he was like an expert master at the posing and like so much happens in this one. Like you have to come up with creative ideas to show so much action. There's a lot of action, a lot of posing, and a lot of scenes where you have to show four characters fighting a giant monster. And when I read it on my on the Kindle where it goes panel by panel, and then I looked at it how it looks on the page. I go, oh wow, they actually had to draw that super tiny that scene to get it in there. There's one particular one that stood out. I think it might be in that scene there. Yeah. Well, that's a bigger one, but I think there's like one where it looked like it was drawn really tiny, but you still can tell that it's goofy and then it's just amazing how you can have just a tiny drawing, but you can't put a lot of detail in it because when it shrinks, right? And so it works. Yeah, there's so many action angles and like wow, I was like in awe. I did read the last one before, but I wasn't able to come on the show to review it. The one with Minnie as Captain Marvel.
Yep.
And I found that mini one with Captain Marvel, it's not as adventurous or action packed, but it's funny. It's really funny, and so it's kind of neat how they depending on who writes it, you'll have more humor perhaps. This one I found has more action. It's very action packed.
Definitely.
And yeah, I really liked it a lot. Yeah, I don't think there's been a dud yet.
Good to hear there. I'll follow my order on my screen here. Let's jump over to Kirby. Your thoughts on this issue?
First off, D-Brad talking about how they'd have to draw it really small now. Don't they, when they draw these pages, aren't they like twice the size of the actual page? And then they get shrunk down for the comic?
Yeah. They don't have to draw it small, but they have to draw it in a way that when it shrinks down to be small, that still works. So they have to when they draw it big, they have to use less detail. Yeah, I meant that. Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah, I loved it. If anybody knows me, I'm not a big Fantastic Four fan. If you gave me this version of Fantastic Four, I'd definitely read it. I like these characters, how they did it. I thought it was really fun how they take the duck and make him made out of rocks, a creature that could float on water, but couldn't anymore as a duck. And the dog ends up being the one that flies around and gets the flame ability. You think they would have switched them, but I did like how they did that. But yeah, the details in this thing, like Brad was saying, and just all the characters just jammed into each one of these images and stuff. It's just they did an awesome job with it. I love the battle scene with the three-headed dragon. I would like to see a little bit longer of that battle going on. I'm not a fan of Mole Man, but Pete made me like the character more than I used to. So yeah, they did a great job with this one. I'm loving these. And I like when Goofy goes flying by all the people at the barbecue and just lights them up.
Yeah, and there's consequences to that too. That's kind of funny. He runs out of power.
Jump over to Katie. Your thoughts on this?
Yep, another tremendously fun issue for me. I read it on digital, but I feel like this would be super cool as a newspaper comic. There's just a couple moments in there where I'm like, wow, they're really nailing the retro feel and styling of both classic Disney comics and Fantastic Four, which I thought was really cool. And yeah, I think it'd be fun to see it on newsprint. Just some moments that I really enjoyed. So Clarabelle Cow and Minnie are at Clarabelle's house watching soap operas, and Clarabelle offers her some cardamom cookies. I thought that was really cool. I would like to try the cardamom cookie. That sounds good to me. Um, Donald Duck ripping a door off its hinges by the handle and just yeeting it into the abyss is hysterical to me. It's very similar to that panel we talked about in the last issue where Minnie is just deadlifting a giant coffee machine when in reality, like
that was
she's
funny.
so tiny. Oh gosh, so funny to me. We love a good visual gag.
Mhm.
I like the part where Goofy is lighting up everyone's grills, and then they're like, "Wait, no, it's a competition. That's not fair. You have to do it for all of us." And the guy in the background being like, "Ha, now we're cooking with fire." That was funny. Um, Kind of the scientist duck guy who built this lab and made the MacGuffin of the machine with the cosmic rays wants to make cauliflowers taste like strawberry candy. And yeah, I agree that would be an improvement. Like if you ask me, what does cauliflower taste like? I'm like, well, on its own, not that much.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. Unfortunately, no strawberry candy made out of cauliflower or cauliflower flavored strawberry candy. That's like a worse version of cauliflower rice. Now we're gonna have cauliflower candy. Um, there's a scene. There's a scene where Mickey and Goofy are confronting Mole Man Pete, and he's like, "And finally, I sunk the jail because they put me in prison so many times." And one of the characters says, "Yeah, well, you're going back to prison no matter what." So, like, that's that's pretty funny. And then and just hearing it in like a Disney character voice, like threatening with "you're going to prison again," is kind of ridiculous to me. Oh, you're going to jail. And then Pete trying to rob the bank by trick or treating. I'm like, well, that's unique. I don't know that anyone's ever tried that before. And they're like, yeah, not only are you not going to rob us, we gave away all the candy, so just get out of here. You're too old for this.
Yeah.
A lot of great visual gags in this book. Tremendous amount of fun. I'm neutral on the Fantastic Four. I don't know a ton about them besides what Anthony has shared with the group, but I really like this issue. I thought they did a great job adapting it, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they adapt the Fab Five into being the Avengers. So another fun issue. No complaints.
Cool.
Jim, your thoughts?
I'm just going to echo what everybody said. You know, a really fun book. I love the cover. The cover was so good. And a couple of the moments that I particularly liked are the gags that were in there, where normally you see Donald Duck just wearing the sailor top. Now that he's the Thing, he's running around in just shorts. So I thought that was a cute.
Oh, yeah, right.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I like the grill thing where you have to go back and relight everybody else's grills. That was cool. And the spaceship, the Carnival ride spaceship that turned into the moment that they got their powers. I thought that was really cute, really clever.
That was a good twist, yeah.
Yeah,
And
that was really nice.
The weird little song that he's listening to in the lab when it all starts.
I have a question about that, but I'll wait till Jim's finished.
But that's pretty much all I had to add. You know, again, another really fun book, and I'm a little disappointed overall in the fact that we're having these characters play different roles. I would like to see a little continuity and use maybe more different Disney characters overall. It doesn't detract from the individual stories at all. So
that's a really good idea, Jim.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I like that.
D. Brad, your question that you had, was it about the song?
Yeah, it's about the song. Yeah, the "I'm in Love with an Inventor" song. Now, I've always wondered when comics use a song, it's hard to do. Like sometimes if it's a familiar song, you can sing it, but and the timing of the song, it's hard to know as well. And so when you see a song that's printed in a comic book, do you make up a song? Show of hands, do you make up a song?
I usually find myself using the same like rhythm or beat no matter what it is. It's just the same. No matter what the words are, I always just have the same kind of pattern.
Okay.
If there's enough words to build a rhythm off of it, you can kind of do it. This one, there wasn't enough there, so I'm just kind of like in my head, I'm kind of like hearing like a surf sound kind of music.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking for me it was to the tune of, I don't know if maybe Anthony, you probably know it from the Muppet Show. I'm in love with the big blue frog. Did you know that one?
I don't remember that. I don't remember
that one.
But
That's the song that I use because it has some of the same words, so I just use that tune.
Yeah. Not being musically inclined myself, I just stick to I just kind of go past it real quick with whatever normal rhythm and.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. The other thing I thought, the duck-billed three-headed dragon was kind of.
Yeah, the drawing was great too. I had another thing.
Yeah.
The underground creatures with Pete, the Terra Firmians. They're actually from Uncle Scrooge Donald Duck comics when they go underground. So it's like kind of cameo appearance, I guess.
Yeah, I was kind of questioning if that was something specific. Yeah. Yeah, the one thing I was going to talk about, waiting to see if anyone's going to mention it specifically, but Jim calling out on the origin story, and I just love that with like being at the carnival and the characters going on this kind of shuttle ride, and there's part of me thinking like, all right, they going on a big space mission and everything, and then once they were doing the carnival thing, and I was just like, oh, this is really cool way to do just a real silly version of it, you know.
But, I was waiting for the rocket to get launched into space or something. And I like this version better.
Yeah. It was a quicker way to do it.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of that too, I think they continue to do a good job of cramming a lot into an issue without feeling it like you know, the stories are going fast, which is probably reminiscent of old Marvel comics of just how, you know, you could take a one-shot adventure from a 60s comic, and if you took that story today, it would be a 6-part series into a trade paperback, if not a year-long story. So I like the idea that they're still kind of following that where, hey, I think we would all probably continue to read further issues of the story, but I think, you know, keeping it in that format of just kind of getting it all done in one shot is very, very well done. But yeah, being a big fan of the Fantastic Four, I was extra excited for this one here. I just love the family dynamic, and that was interesting what Jim was mentioning too about, you know, that would have been interesting to see different Disney characters playing the cast members. Because when I was looking at the cover, I didn't really think of it. I'm like, all right, so do we have Minnie and Goofy? Are they brother and sister in this? Like, just because of the Sue Storm, Johnny Storm type of thing. But then they're up front, they're very much like, oh yeah, we're friends. You know, we're a group of friends that went to the carnival together.
Aww.
But I started to think of that once I opened it up. I didn't think about it in the last 2 months until I was just like, all right, what's this going to be here? But and then when he had mentioned about Donald Duck's pants, because I had noticed right in the beginning too, just seeing the torn, how all of his tops are all torn and stuff. So I just thought that was kind of funny because, you know, normally he's not wearing bottoms, but the tops are torn. Like,
never, no.
But yeah, any other lingering thoughts anyone wants to chime in with?
Yes, I had to check if there was candy made from cauliflower, and there's been some attempts, but apparently the closest thing is that in 2021 for April Fool's Day, Peeps and Green Giant collaborated on an April Fool's Day prank to release cauliflower flavored Peeps, or at least they were marketing them as cauliflower flavored Peeps. It turns out it was a joke. They were just regular Peeps, but the package looked like a Green Giant frozen veggies package. So, yeah, cauliflower flavored Peeps, not coming soon.
Thankfully.
D. Brad would know this based off. Yep. D. Brad would know this based off of Cartoonist by Night thread discussion, but I've been going nuts about Peeps recently. So,
okay.
Yeah, so sign me up.
You can't stop.
Are you
talking
pro or
about
con Peeps?
Oh, I'm pro Peeps, but I think I'm the only one in the group that's pro Peeps. So.
Yeah, I know. I'm not pro. I'm anti-peeps.
I know those Canadians like to try certain things too. They might have made something like that.
Yeah.
I was thinking like Japanese or Korean, but yeah, that's a good point too. And yeah, now I got to hunt for some limited edition cauliflower peeps for Anthony.
Yeah. Brett. Oh wow.
It's a peep.
This is going to be my weekly pitch to the audio audience to subscribe to Crimson Cowl Comic Club on YouTube to see what just popped up in this Peeps related discussion. Completely unprompted and unscripted, so that was awesome. And not to linger off, I want to mention, I don't know if Brad, if they've had ketchup flavored Peeps maybe in up north.
Yeah. That's a different story, Anthony. Yeah. Everything tastes better with ketchup.
All right, so I think they've definitely had maple ones that we've had here in the past. I think they've had some maple syrup ones. So, so yeah, that is going to do it. If nobody else had any extra thoughts,
2 more things.
Yes, go ahead.
I love how they revealed how Mickey had stretching powers, where he's just pointing. He's pointing across, pointing and his arms, and then Minnie and Goofy are looking at his arm. That was a great reveal there. And then the other one was this one was how the artist drew Mickey with he has tufts of hair that he doesn't normally have. He's got 3 tufts of hair. Yeah, I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I just noticed that now.
Hair tufts.
Interesting. Yeah. All right.
Does Reed Richards have tufts of hair? I can't picture him now.
The thing with his hair is more of the gray.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's just kind of a substitute for that fact of just giving him some sort of hair thing, and maybe just frustrated in the lab, and he's always scratching his head or something. So
maybe, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, cool. So yeah, that'll do it for another fantastic issue of these crossovers. But once again, in future upcoming club discussions, we'll have What If Mickey and Friends Became the Avengers. We have Minor Arcana, number 4 and 5 are currently out. Batman Full Moon, number 4, which will be the wrap-up of that miniseries. And then we had alluded to the possibility of the delay of Doctor Doom and Rocket Raccoon. That is on our docket, but I think that is coming out a little later than originally scheduled. And if we have any more club discussions, we are going to find out later in the episode, because they are selected through our preview. And when we find out, when we have 3 people or more interested in a certain title, we usher it into the club discussion tier. So we'll find out later if we have any more to add. But that is going to do it for this segment. Let's jump over to the weekly reviews. Welcome to the weekly reviews. First one I am talking about is celebrating 40 years of Usagi Yojimbo with this tribute collection. Myself and Kirby have this in hand here. This was all orchestrated, designed, and organized by Steve Hubble. This tribute book is by fans and for fans of Stan Sakai's Usagi Yojimbo. Originally limited to 500 copies. They're available upon request for free. I am just listing this off of the original GoFundMe, so I have no idea at the time of this recording if any of them are available, and I'll talk about how this came into our hands shortly. They're just asking you to pay the postage, and while supplies last. Now, on this show here, Kirby's definitely the one, our resident Usagi fan. I've only read a small handful of Usagi, but Kirby's the one that usually brings him to the table. This came into my feed because I saw that friends of ours, we have Matt Hansel, who we just recently had on Cartoonist by Night, as well as Jamie Cosley, also a past guest on Cartoonist by Night, along with Tyler Cosley, his son, have stories that they contributed in this, and I saw them post about it, and I was just like, oh, what is this? And I didn't see this in a catalog or somewhere, and then when I found out that it was originally a GoFundMe campaign, and it was done just by Steve Hubble, just orchestrating all of these cartoonists basically to take a X number of pages and come up with a kind of a fan story for Usagi and characters, and it was funded, and then once again, as it was mentioned, they were going to be free of charge as long as you paid the shipping. And so that was extremely generous because this is a full trade paperback collection. You know, it's a thick paperback. I was expecting like a 40-page, you know, maybe a double-sized single issue, and this is
Right.
a full binded, awesome comic here.
That's
Um,
impressive.
so yeah, just huge shout out to Steve Hubble and all the Usagi fans who made this happen and for offering this here. But yeah, and then it showed up really fast in the mail. I saw the notice. I sent it over to Kirby. I know Matt Fife jumped in on that too over at Cartoonist by Night. We're pretty excited to take advantage of that deal there. And next thing I knew, it showed up in the mailbox. This is an amazing collection. A lot of fun stories, especially for someone who hasn't read too much Usagi. I was excited. I think this was probably a good introduction just because they were all short story formats, bunch of different styles. You see different,
wow.
you know, like one-page tributes. It was basically a what if Oliver Stone made Usagi Yojimbo movie. So it's a one-page kind of, you know, funny graphic there of just a I don't know much about Oliver Stone movies, but I'm sure there's a lot of little jokes and Easter eggs related to it. But then it was just really cool to see all the different kind of styles throughout this book, and just seeing all the different cartoonists work their magic. Um, it ranges from color stories to black and white stories, so there's a lot of different examples from these people here.
Some prose, like looked like it was like a Kirby showed prose, like it was like type.
So
Yeah, little touches on the history of Usagi throughout the years, and
Oh, okay.
talking
Some
about different
information.
things like the dinosaurs and stuff like that,
Oh,
why
okay.
they were created. And
Got it.
And then there's also a bunch of great pinup galleries throughout it as well, and just showing all the different styles. People just that had just pinups throughout the years, because some of these are dated, you know, a little further back and stuff too. But anybody who wanted to contribute, who was aware of this within their fan club, um, the Usagi Yojimbo Dojo, which I believe is the name of the group and the club and everything. And I'll share this fun idea because it's a great play on words. But there's a couple stories that I love it when they do this. Scotty Young has done some of this stuff in his I Hate Fairyland type stuff and just his initial cartooning, where the story is about the cartoonists themselves trying to come up with the story for what's actually the story that's in the book. So there are a couple of those. The first one that's in the book is excellent, and it's somebody that's basically going through and just coming up being like, all right, then this is going to happen. No, bad idea. This is going to happen. And you see a change within the next panel. And like, you just see the cartoonist himself drawing himself, you know, at his keyboard and just excitedly coming up with, oh, this is my one time to do a Usagi Yojimbo story. So I'm just going to make it the biggest epic, most, you know, thing ever. So I say all of that because one of them shows a graphic here that says, Usagi Joe. You saw G.I. Joe.
Also,
So
it's
yeah,
like see.
so yeah, just doing a whole cover that was a GI Joe type of parody. Um, and then yeah, then because I mentioned um, Tyler and Jamie Cosley, I'll just show off one little panel of there because I don't want to show off too much here, doing some kind of quick flashes. But here's the introduction of their story of Usagi, and I was excited to find Jamie's story in here, and obviously a very recognizable style if you know him. So I was just like, oh yeah, it's coming up on the next page here. So it's a funny little pumpkin patch story, and then Matt Hansel, master cartoonist, has a story as well, which adapts to um, his strengths of doing his comic strips. So he does it in the flip around format here, the landscape, correct?
Oh yeah.
Landscape format. So I'll just show the top one here, but they're all structured, even though it's a continuing thing. They're all structured in that newspaper comic strip thing, you know, right down to, you know, his signature being on, I think, every single panel, if I'm not mistaken, or every single strip rather. And so yeah, it's and he's got a couple pages in there. So once again, thanks to Matt Hansel and Jamie Cosley for throwing that into the feed, making me aware of this, spreading the word, letting people know about this collection. Kirby, anything you wanted to add on to this?
I love how right away in the first chibi story we get a thing where Usagi's got to deal with a bunch of creatures, like vampires, werewolves, zombies, stuff like that. And so the creator that Anthony was talking about that drew himself in figures he's got to make it easier for Usagi, so he gives Usagi a gun. And Usagi is like, a gun? That's not honorable. And it's like, you gotta have a sword to deal with things. Usagi never uses a gun. I like how they did that play in there. I like how they give you the history of the dinosaur, which Brad was talking about the prose part of it. They got a really nice, like 2-3 page layout explaining that why they were part of the storyline and everything. I like that they get deep enough in a couple of the stories in here using the kappa, which are the turtle demons, which ended up working great with crossovers that they did with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, because you know anything, Usagi and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles both came out at the same time. Uh, so they like to do little crossovers, and everybody's like, Kappa demons are here, and it's like it's just the turtles, they're friends of Usagi's and stuff. And the dinosaurs are known as Tokage characters. And then they represent Jen in here really well. He's the rhino character with the part of his snout missing because Usagi took it from him in the early days and in an early battle before they kind of became friends. But every time they meet up, Usagi runs into Jen, usually in a tavern, and he's eating. Usually can't pay for his meal or whatever, so he talks Usagi or whoever to pay for his stuff, but they always find a way to come up with a bounty that has to be hunted for that village, and they go out and do it to make themselves some extra coin to get on through their day. And then there's the one Usagi Saki story that he has. And it just goes and shows you all these different characters. And they even have a Kenny Usagi.
They're all
from
drawn,
South Park.
Yeah, they're all drawn to popular cartoon styles, whether it be Garfield, Peter Griffin, Bugs Bunny. Yeah, that was brilliant.
The Tricks Rabbit. I mean, every rabbit you could think of was represented in every type of comic book character. They did so much fun. I don't know how I missed it. I'm so glad Anthony let me know about it.
Yeah,
I've been really bummed about not getting this one, but yeah.
Right now,
thick and just shipping.
I'm bummed right now that I didn't order one.
And you still might have a chance. I don't know. I mean, check it out and see. I mean, it wasn't that long. Like Anthony said, it came in the mail quick.
I was shocked, where I'm just like, oh, what is it? I had no idea what I was getting in the mail. And I'm like, I didn't recognize the name, and I'm like, I just ordered this 2 days ago.
Oh wow!
I was thinking it would be an ash can or something like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Here's the Peanuts Charlie Brown one.
Cool.
So yeah, big shout out to Steve Hubble. This was an awesome collection and just such an awesome campaign through the Usagi Yojimbo Dojo. Fun setup of words there. While reading this, I feel like a fraud because I wouldn't classify myself as a Usagi fan. I'm not a fan, but I went in because of Matt Hansel and Jamie Cosley, and what this book did for me is just get extra excited about this character. So I think it's maybe the roots, the beginnings, the origin story of me diving into more Usagi beyond the
oh, it's great. You gotta get
everybody should like Usagi.
Yeah, I think I have almost all of them. I just have to get the latest collection. But yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah, and they brought, I don't know if you know D-Brad or not, but they did bring back Space Usagi this last year or so, and it's been excellent.
Yeah.
Yes. Once again, one final shout out, Steve Hubble, you rock, and everybody over at the Usagi Yojimbo Dojo. All right, jump over to Kirby. What you got?
I got Cruel Kingdom, #1. I think it has It might be the other Nope, this doesn't have the original cover underneath.
I was going to say, you got a misprint. There's nothing on the cover.
But, lost my glasses. This is 4 stories this time. I thought the other EC Comics, I think, did 2 stories per comic. So I could be wrong. I have been reviewing them. So. But the first story is Blood of the Robo King. This is writer Greg Pak, artist Leo Max, and colorist Inaki Aspiazu. It's basically what would happen if people built robots back in the time when people themselves lived under the rule of not to kill, but needed protection from something that did not follow that rule. So they basically created a robot to do their bidding so the blood wouldn't be on their hands. And then you find out as time goes by what happens. The usual evils of war get left out, and you get to see stuff from both sides. Second story is Friendly Visitors. This is writer Al Ewing and artist Kano. This is in the time of like hobbits and stuff. A large vessel ascends from the sky, unlike anything they ever seen. The visitors want to push its science on the people of the land to stop magic, but what if the homelanders don't want their lifestyle changed? What will happen? And you'll see that throughout here, but you see how they use their scientific powers to stop a dragon. All of a sudden they have this blue spear appear and kind of like attack the dragon. But the characters in this land have their own special powers, so it's a fun story, fun twist on things. The third one is Death and Pickaxes. This is by writer Chris Cannon and artist Charlie Adlard. I know him. I can't say his name today. What if Snow White slept through the lives of the 7 dwarfs, and there was an 8th dwarf who buried his brothers over time, witnessed the awakening after their death from the kiss, and jealousy kind of overtakes him because of what happens over all the years, losing his brothers, waiting for her to be awoken. And in this story, it doesn't happen until all the original 7 dwarfs are gone. But I don't want to give away the rest of that one. And the final story is The Demon's Face. Writer Ben H. Winters, artist Andrea Moody, and colorist Michael Atea. If there is an unremovable item lodged in something that has demon in its name, should we continue to keep trying to remove it? And if we do, you gotta beware of the consequences. It's kind of a twist on the Sword of the Stone story, but yeah, it's got a fun demon element added to it. But I only ordered the first one. I wasn't going to go with the rest of them because of it being more of a fantasy realm storyline, but it is EC Comics. I ended up falling in love with all 4 of these stories, and now I think I might get the rest. I think it's going to be a 4 or 5 issue run. I want to say 5 issue, but I could be wrong. But they did good with the other EC Comics spring comebacks.
Awesome.
Hello, I was still muted. That doesn't happen too often. So what I said was cool. All right, let's jump over to D. Brad. Very interested with what you brought to the table here. What is it?
All right. Well, this is a Scholastic Graphics series from Jamar Nicholas, and this is the second book in the Leon series about a boy who lives in a world where almost everybody, well, it's like the normal people mix with the superpowered people. And so that like having superpowers is kind of like a normal thing that you grow up with. And so Leon is a kid who shows up to school dressed as a superhero. Nobody else does, but he doesn't have any powers. And so it's kind of about him sticking up to the bullies in the school. And then the first book, the kids get addicted to these cell phones and they become zombies. He's got to stop that. And then he finds out some things of people he knows are secretly have superpowers, but they're not revealing it. And so the first book, that's what the first book was. And so then this is the second book. And so I think one book comes out every year. So this one just came out in November. And it's called Worst Friends Forever. And it's kind of what happens after you become a hero. And you kind of start getting an ego, right? And it's kind of how all the attention starts going to his head and how it can affect friendships and relationships. And one of the cool things about the first book is before he would get into a conflict, there'd be a full page of, how Spider-Man has his spider sense tingling? Well, Leon has his common sense. And so the common sense shows up and it has choices. What happens if I do this? And this could happen, this could happen. And so he looks at his options in the common sense. In this one, his common sense shows up in the first conflict, but then there are no choices. It's just automatically reaction. And so it's kind of the theme is really cool theme about can you still be the same? Do you still have the same values when you get all this attention thrown upon you, and how that can challenge your values that you had before? So this one's not a standalone like the first one. The first one could be a standalone. This one has a to be continued at the end, so there is going to be a third book for sure. And so it is a series, so that it's not standalone stories. Each issue, or I guess each volume will have its own plot, but each volume will build on the plot that came before and how what happened in the last story affects him now. So it is kind of interesting how someone that you saw as a hero kind of turns and starts acting like a jerk. I guess that can happen. And so it'd be interesting to see how it turns out. I don't want to give away if he goes back to his old ways or not, or does he become even jerkier?
And in case I missed it, that was Jamar Nichols.
Jamar Nicholas, yeah. He has a awesome podcast called Pencil to Pencil.
Yeah. Cool. All right. We are going to jump into the next round here. This one intrigued me when I saw it in the previews catalog. And this is right here. What if Galactus transformed Hulk? Transformed Hulk. Not the Hulk, just transformed Hulk. All right. The first in a new series of one-shots that ask the question, what if Galactus recruited some of Marvel's best and brightest heroes in this new, as his new cosmic heralds? See how the power cosmic transforms these once familiar champions, twisting and turning all of Marvel history in their wake. In this tale, Galactus had conscripted Earth's strongest warrior, the Incredible Hulk, into his service. But what will turn out to be the bigger mistake, trying to direct the fury of the Green Goliath or giving the great mind of Bruce Banner a cosmic problem to solve? The first in a new series of one-shots that ask the question, what if Galactus recruited some of Marvel's best and brightest heroes? This seems like it's repeating itself here, so I'll just leave it at that. Yep, it's almost like a copy and paste of the above. Okay, the other one-shots, I believe, are Moon Knight and Gambit. I have those in my stack, and then I think there's a Spider-Gwen coming up, maybe a Storm. I actually think they advertise it. Rogue and Spider-Gwen, and then Gambit and Moon Knight are going to be some other one-shots too. So we're talking about the Hulk here. This is the first one. This was, I would think, a very normal setup to a Herald story with Galactus and a Herald, of having the Herald approach a planet, warn them, saying, "Hey, this is what's going to happen. Galactus is hungry. He's going to absorb your energy and destroy your planet. You should get out of here." So you see a Bruce Banner. I should bring up his image here. A cosmic Herald version of Bruce Banner. Wait for the lighting to get in there. So yeah, he's much like a Silver Surfer type, flying without a surfboard. Has his hair sticking off the top there, and but as the Bruce Banner Herald, he also has the ability to transform into the Hulk Herald, and he approaches this planet, realizes that none of them are taking him seriously. They're saying, "We don't just run in the face of danger." I'm guessing they have no idea who Galactus is, but we don't avoid our attackers, and we're not gonna, flee. And that was a mistake, because as you see Galactus come and kind of do what he does, but the Avengers get thrown into this story too, and that is when I started to really get interested in this. So the first half of the book, there wasn't a lot that was grabbing me. I'm just like, all right, just kind of normal setup stuff. There's nothing to me that felt different with Bruce Banner and the Hulk as Herald. I keep wanting to say the Silver Surfer, but he's not a Silver Surfer. And once the Avengers get thrown in the story, they do a little groundbreaking reveal, which I'm not going to say here, of the moment when Galactus came to Earth and was looking for a Herald, and what the Avengers' involvement had to deal with that. And when they brought them into the story, that's when it really kind of had an awesome reveal, got me interested for the second half, and really gave the story some purpose, I think, and made me excited to read the rest of them, to kind of see if there's some, overarching twist that makes the decision of accepting to be the Herald of Galactus. So yeah, like I said, halfway through this issue, I wasn't sure if this is going to be something that I'd bring to the club. Nothing really of substance that I could really talk about. But then the stuff that I'm not going to talk about is the reason I bring it to the club. So yeah, it really won me in the second half. Thought this was a great one-shot issue. I'm extra excited now to check out the others that are in the stack, because I pre-ordered all of them. I think they were all done in a weekly format, so I'm sure they'll probably be collected, by summer or something, if anybody was waiting for the trade or anything. But I'm always down for a weekly event type of thing, so I was excited to kick it off with Galactus. What if Galactus transformed Hulk? All right, we have one more weekly review in this lineup here. So what you got, Kirby? Your audio, please. You're pulling an Anthony at this moment.
Yeah, I usually don't do that. Just one of those days. Green Hornet, Miss Fury, #1. Oh, I guess must have been some other comic that I got a blank cover that had the original underneath it. I thought it was this one. But this one, I just picked it up because of the blank cover again. This is done by co-writers Alex Segura and Henry Barajas, artist Federico Ceresa, colorist Leslie Atlansky, letterer Taylor Esposito, and editor Joe Corallo. This was a fun story with these two characters. I don't know much at all about Miss Fury herself. I've read more Green Hornet in the past, but basically Miss Fury follows the Green Hornet into a trap that they have to work together to get themselves out of. She follows him because he happens to have some information about someone that she's trying to find out stuff about. And while doing that, they get crossed up in some with a bunch of interesting bad guys. Meanwhile, in the past, we find out why Miss Fury thinks the Green Hornet has ties to someone she is searching for. More information about. The Silver Shriek is the one and is bringing his illegal activities to American soil, and must be stopped. But what is the connection with him, Miss Fury, and the Green Hornet? Trying to find out throughout this, and then we end up. I got so much stuff in the back of these books. They end up basically finding out masked characters. This used to be a masked superhero. Are being taken out, and the Green Hornet and Miss Fury are also on that list. They're trying to find out why, and the Silver Shriek has something to do behind the whole thing. But this is issue 1, so you're just basically getting some back history, some history of all 3 of those characters, and finding out about our masked characters being taken out, and trying to figure out who's doing it and why. And yeah, it looks like a fun story to check out. I wouldn't mind picking up some more of these in the future, but for now I just grabbed issue 1.
Cool. And I got to add a correction to mine since I went past the repeating synopsis. I forgot to mention the creators on my issue: Matt Groom, Lan Medina, Juancho Velez, and VC's Travis Lanham. So,
I did show it during your interview, but I did get the Galactus Spider-Gwen one.
Oh, cool.
Didn't read it yet.
Cool. All right, that is going to do it then for the weekly reviews, but we do have one more segment, and that is the news.
And now, the news.
All right, welcome to the previews. That's where we go through all of the catalogs. This time we are covering the February catalogs for products coming out in April 2025 and beyond. So we'll kick it off with Marvel first. I'm not going to jump into the synopsis, but I've been eyeing up some extra blank sketch cover variants. Kirby and I usually tack on a couple of those per order, but at the time of this recording, it's been within the week that we or Oh Yeah Comics that hosted a original art sketch cover auction to benefit those hurt from the LA wildfires, and on the Oh Yeah Comics YouTube channel, which you can watch that whole I think it's like 2.5 hours. Bunch of local Muskokie artists and some that sent covers in to donate to the cause and have people bid on. That was my first ever sketch cover that I was serious on. I did one a couple years ago that we're not talking about, and I'll never show you it. But the one here, I did queue up this image here, so I thought this was a good way to mention this. I did a Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives one, and so drawing an original cover on a blank sketch cover variant. And I was very happy with the result. I was crossing the fingers, expecting it to get like, all right, hope it gets at least $10. And then it was a good decision for them to start all of the bidding for the covers at $20, which was a very smart move. So I'm like, all right, let's go for 25 then. And I was very pleasantly surprised when a couple people who I didn't recognize, some strangers to the stream that aren't from like local Skokie friends bidding or anything, that were going back and forth on my cover, and brought in some good money for charity. So I was very happy with the results on that. And that kind of boosted my spirits with committing to more sketch covers. So you'll see me mention it now with the Fantastic Four facsimile edition for issue number 5 of the original series from 1961. But because of the facsimile, now they're doing a blank sketch cover variant for it. So I was excited to have that in there. But if anybody wanted to relive the story, which a lot of the stuff that they're talking about in the comics right now are just amping up all of the Doctor Doom stuff, because coming up in the next with the Fantastic Four movie in July, and especially with the next Avengers movie, Avengers Doomsday, which starts filming soon. The Marvel Comics are shifting into doing a lot of extra Doom related stuff. So I would assume this issue number 5 probably has some Doom related material. But I wanted to use that sketch cover shout out to kind of give that plug for that charity thing. So check out the All Yeah Comics YouTube channel to watch back that feed, because there's a lot of jokes and a lot of fun within the live stream as well. And they're hoping to do more in the future. So that's my first pick for Marvel. Kirby?
Yeah, sadly, I wanted to go up to 60 on yours. I set myself a $60 limit, and there was 3 I wanted. It was yours, Art's, and the final one where everybody did their little sketch on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Those 3 I really wanted, and of course they all went above my number. But yeah, you did an awesome job, and you don't give it enough showing there. You should show that back image also. But I love what you did on the back too. But yeah, it was definitely worth one of the top 2, 3 comics that were in there.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I wasn't going. There was a moment when I was just talking about where I'm like, well, I'm gonna only say up to this point, because it's me just giving myself praise. So I'll take this little launching pad there. Um, so yeah, thank you for those comments, and then also seeing that reaction, and at the time of the auction, mine was the highest bidding one for quite a while, and it didn't end up until you got like Art Baltazar in there, you got Minerva Fox in there, Kyle Fenrick, like those, Skokie alum, heavy hitters and stuff, and then yeah, and then especially that jam cover at the end there. But I felt extra confident after getting that kind of feedback, so I'm excited to uh, take some time to work on more covers, both for selling at the tables and for some of these auctions that I know that are coming up. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. All right, this one I didn't know until I rechecked the catalog, but the Amazing Spider-Man #1 is starting a whole new story line, starting out with Rhino in it. So done by Joe Kelly, Pepe Larraz, and John Romita Jr. The next era of Amazing Spider-Man has arrived. Peter is shockingly without a job and looking for gainful employment, but his job search is interrupted by a rampaging Rhino who is but the tip of a sinister iceberg. What major spider villain is working behind the scenes, weaponizing other spider villains, including one we haven't seen in over 7 years? Also, what is the goblin-free Norman Osborn up to anyway? So yeah, you throw Rhino in there. It's a beautiful spat 2-pager in here of Rhino attacking, and it's just, yeah, it sold me.
Excellent. Jump over to Katie. Anything for Marvel?
Yeah, so I noticed there was a bunch of Godzilla versus Marvel heroes. I thought those looked directing.
Yeah, those are on the list, all of them. Cool. Jump over to Jim. I probably know the answer, but I'll make sure to hear from you. Anything for Marvel?
Nothing that I'm going to order, but I'm enjoying looking at these Doctor Doom covers.
Cool. Yep. So once again, capitalizing on the upcoming Doctor Doom craze, and for those that don't know, with Robert Downey Jr. playing the character into the MCU, so I'm sure they want to take advantage of doing some cool Doom stories and covers and all that stuff. And then jump over to D. Brad, just to throw you into the conversation as well. We've heard your experience with previews, or lack thereof, with the actual catalogs. But yeah, so I just don't want to leave you out. So I'm just saying hi, Brad. How's it going?
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, if there's anything that's interesting here, feel free to interrupt us and ask about it, so that way you're included too.
Who writes Spider-Man now? Because Dan Slott's gone.
So after Dan Slott, there was a long run from Nick Spencer, and then Zeb Wells did a long run. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's a new one.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because that's currently what I'm reading right now is Dan Slott, so I'm quite a bit behind.
Yeah, that was my favorite run. Dan Slott's my favorite comic book writer, and That was just a very epic long run, like 10.5 years or something. So
Yeah, yeah. It's
for
really
modern for modern comics, that's crazy.
yeah.
But yeah, with the number one, most likely a new team as well. All right, well, I'll jump over to my next one here. Fantastic Four Fanfare, it's called. Bringing up the synopsis here. Marvel's First Family. In the special full color anthology series, each issue focuses on a particular member of the team. For this inaugural outing, Mark Waid and Ramon Rosanas depict an escalating prank war between the Human Torch and the Thing. Alan Davis sends the team into Hazard's Deep underground, and Andrew Wheeler and Sarah Pichelli reveal what happens when the Mole Man interrupts Johnny Storm's star-making turn on reality television. So yeah, Marvel's Fanfare and anthology series, that's what caught my attention. I haven't been keeping up with the main series, but books like this are good things to kind of jump in and out of just because you get the individual stories and don't have to worry about the overall continuity. So Fantastic Four Fanfare. Kirby?
We got Deadpool killing the Marvel Universe again.
Again.
Or kills the Marvel Universe one last time, I should say.
Still. He's still
First,
killing.
Deadpool killed every hero in the Marvel Universe. Then he killed every hero in another Marvel Universe. Well, now he's back, and this time, slaughtering his way through Earth's mightiest heroes won't be enough. He's going after the worst of the worst, a whole multiverse of Marvel's greatest gone bad. Get ready for world breaking Hulks, werewolf Captain Americas, and some all new twisted takes. The classic universe slaughtering team of Cullen Bunn and Dalibor Talajic reunite to kill everyone one more time. But yeah, I'll be picking up the trade more than likely on this one. Happy to see they're doing it one last time.
Or are they?
At least for 2025. Katie?
Okay, so we have Marvel is rebooting Star Wars again. We have Star Wars #1 by Alex Segura and Phil Noto. This is going to be post Return of the Jedi. It will be in shops on May 7th, 2025. It's going to be $5. I'm cautiously optimistic to see what they do with this era. I am a big EU fan, but I'm, interested to see more. However, I might end up trade weighting this just because what I've read by that author I thought was just okay. But they are rebooting it and it's going to be around Star Wars Day, and I'm sure a trade will follow in a few months. Star Wars #1. Check it out.
That one I'll be getting in.
Nice.
But I collect them in trade though, so it'll be months later.
Yeah.
And then as Katie had
Good Christmas present.
And as Katie had mentioned, Godzilla versus Hulk, Godzilla versus Spider-Man, and Godzilla versus X-Men. All three of those are on my list, so I just wanted to shout out those names. And then going back to my next pick here, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, the 10th anniversary special. Wow, it's crazy that it's 10 years already for Lunella. It's a birthday celebration, a decade in the making, and the whole Marvel Universe is invited. But Moon Girl is bringing her own agenda to the party. What could her secret plans be? The mischievous Impossible Man threatens to upend the festivities unless Nunella can rally her guests the way only the smartest person in the universe can. Plus, who is Devil Girl and Moon Dino? Ooh, it's first time reading the synopsis, so I actually am intrigued by my own words there. Quick synopsis for this. If you are unaware of these characters, Lunella Lafayette and Devil Dinosaur, she has inhuman abilities and she basically can switch bodies. In addition to being the smartest person in the Marvel Universe, she also has the inhuman ability to switch bodies with her dinosaur friend, Devil Dinosaur, who came in from the past, from the old Jack Kirby Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur stories. And it's a lot of fun stories when they swap bodies, because you'll find out that a dinosaur mindset is now in the body of this grade school girl. So like she'll get up on her like desk in the middle of class and start like roaring and stuff, and it's just because there's a dinosaur inside of her body taking control and stuff, and it's pretty great. So yeah, I'm excited to celebrate 10 years because everything Moon Girl has been ordered and in my collection. So
Happy anniversary, Moon Girl.
She deserves it. So, and she's probably the same age from 10 years ago. So
Yeah.
So I don't want to wish her many more because she's just going to stay this age for quite some time. So,
Right.
Kirby?
I'm not picking this one up, but it's all the rage apparently because it's apparently what made Jeff the Land Shark famous and Magic famous and stuff.
Sure.
But we got Marvel Rivals #1, based off the Marvel Rivals video game that's supposedly making all these characters famous. I guess to people that never read comic books, maybe. But Paul Allor, Luca Claretti are working on this, spinning off the brand new hit video game sensation, Tokyo 2099. The time rift has disrupted the web of life and destiny, leaving the world's heroes to battle it out over the best way to fix it. One group, led by Penny Parker, wants to plug the web into cyberspace to repair it. The other group, led by Spider-Man, favors a more conservative approach of using chronovium to strengthen the web and allow it to repair itself. The time rift makes rivals out of us all, but which team will overtake the other? Sounds a lot like Fortnite to me, but yeah, I haven't played it yet, so I don't know. That is my last one to give a shout out for Marvel.
All right. Katie, anything left for Marvel?
Sure. So again, from Star Wars, we have the Battle of Jakku trade paperback. I had originally looked at getting this in individual comics, and then when I realized it was going to be a maxi series, I felt for budget and just space reasons in my collection, I would pick up the trade. This is collecting the Star Wars Battle of Jakku 1 through 4, Republic Under Siege 1 through 4, and Last Stand 1 through 4. It'll be available on June 4th, and it's going to cost $35. Creative team includes Alex Segura, Leonard Kirk, Stefano Raffaele, and Phil Noto plus various. Again, this is kind of looking in the immediate time after Return of the Jedi up to the Battle of Jakku, which we saw alluded to in The Force Awakens and was covered in those books by Chuck Wendig, the Aftermath trilogy. Yeah, I am interested in this and excited to see it in trade. Check it out.
Yeah, I have pre-ordered it already, that one.
Nice.
That one.
I hope you like it.
Me too. Yeah.
Excellent. I hope you like it too.
Thank you. You guys are so nice.
Let's see. That'll do it for Marvel. I had nothing else. That was it for you, Katie, you said too?
Yes, I'm open to any club picks, but that's all my Marvels for right now.
All right, so we're going to move over to the distinguished competition, DC Comics. I'll kick it off with another facsimile edition for Batman Adventures, issue number 12. If you are familiar, you know this is a very important issue in those comic books. We'll find out why right here. A costume party gives Barbara Gordon the chance to dress up like her hero, but a couple of criminal party crashers force her to truly throw herself into the role. Does this Batgirl have what it takes to take down Poison Ivy and her unpredictable new partner? Dive into the DC Comics debut of Harley Quinn. This is where Harley Quinn debuted in the Batman Adventures issue number 12. So this is a facsimile edition of it, and the reason I bring it up once again is because there is a really, really cool blue sketch cover variant. So I was already thinking about how cool it would look with the black Sharpie and whiteout pens and stuff on that blue cover. So so if anybody wanted to read a more affordable version of Harley Quinn's debut, you check out the facsimile version with Batman Adventures issue number 12.
All right, I have that one.
The original one?
Original one, yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. I only have a couple from that initial run, and it's not that one, so unfortunately. All right, Kirby, DC.
I don't have nothing new from DC, but I just want to give a shout out. They have a Summer of Superman special #1 shot coming out. I'm not sure what it's going to be all about, but they do have a crypto cover for all the crypto fans. It's not the fuzzy, wonky-eared crypto that you're going to see in the movie, but it's the Super Pets version.
Yeah, this was on my list, so I'm queuing up the synopsis because there was a reason why I was going to get it, and I have to increase
Yeah, I
the.
was surprised they didn't have the synopsis in it. Oh, actually, they do. Sorry. My
Well,
thing just wasn't going down far enough. You want me to read it?
Yep, you can go ahead.
The Man of Steel and his universe of friends, family, allies, and rogues is in for some big changes. And it all starts in the Summer of Superman special, brought to you by Joshua Williamson's and Mark Wade and Dan Slott. This special oversized issue will set the stage for all the major events exploding throughout the Superman titles. When John Henry Irons and Lana Lang take their vows, everyone turns up for the big day, but trouble is brewing on the horizon as the threats from the past, present, and future kick off major new conflicts for the Superman family. So, yeah, that's why Dan Slott is that.
Yep. So Dan Slott, who's had a Marvel exclusive contract for quite some time, it might be as long, if not longer, than what Brian Bendis did, and he made the jump to DC. I don't know if it's an exclusive thing, if he's still doing some Marvel stuff or not, because he was running off with his.
I'm pretty sure it's not. It's not exclusive.
So yeah, they've been a little more relaxed with that kind of thing, these days. And much like with like Chip Zdarsky writing Daredevil and Batman at the same time, it's just like who would have thought that could happen. So Dan Slott, I think this might be his first story because he does have a Superman proper series that he's doing. I don't know if it's a subtitle or taking over the main book, but I think this is where his first writing comes in. He's written for DC in the past, but it's been a long time ago since that happened. And I think it was mostly for Batman. He did some Arkham stories, I think. Back before his Marvel exclusivity. So yeah, I'm on board for this because Dan Slott writing Superman, and I'm excited for that and excited for the movie, obviously. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Summer of Superman. Jump over to Katie. Anything from DC?
I do not have anything from DC, but I am open to any club picks we do.
Excellent. Jump over to Jim. Anything from DC?
Yes, I am going to pick up Superman the World to add to my collection of Batman the World and Joker the World.
Cool. Is that all from like the same creators and such?
I don't know about the actual list, but this one is written by Dan Jurgens, Jorge Jimenez, Satoshi Miyagawa, Stefan Kopriva, Dr. Ijob Gaius, Jefferson Costa Silvania, and more. Art by Lee Weeks, Jorge Jimenez, Kai Kitago, Michal Shushanek, Jefferson Costa, Marcial, and more. Covered by Lee Weeks. It's a hardcover, 184 pages.
Excellent. This one here from DC Comics, I'm excited for. Looney Tunes Catch That Wascally Wabbit trade paperback, volume 1. This one here, let's see here. Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Taz, Tweety Bird, Wile E. Coyote, Yosemite Sam, and all your other favorite Looney Tunes characters are at it again with their wildest, wackiest, and dare we say, looniest comic book adventures inspired by the classic WB cartoons. This collects tales from Looney Tunes 47 to 53. Now, when I read that synopsis and I saw those, and I'm like, okay, like what? I don't know what era they're talking about here. But what's interesting is that Dan Slott is listed as a writer in this collection because, so he's written some. I assume this is all old stuff. D. Brad, do you have
Who's
any?
the artist? Who's the
So,
artist?
so here's the list of the creators. They say David Alvarez, Mike DiCarlo,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
and
Yeah,
then
he's really good.
Dan
Yeah,
Slott,
he's
Sean Carolyn, Jennifer Moore, and others.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so DC, that's a fantastic run of Looney Tunes comics. It's like Dave Alvarez. He's amazing what he can draw. And I would probably get that.
Well, that's good to hear because I just saw Dan Slott's name and I'm just like, all right, I'll definitely get this. So now I feel a little more confident about that with getting the D. Brad praise of approval.
Seal of approval.
All right, jump over to Curb. You had everything from DC, and then Katie. Anything else?
Not from DC, from the big catalog, yes.
Okay, and then as I just remember, Jim, are you good over there as well?
I have one more that I'm looking at, and it's the Secret Six. It is starting with number 2 because I missed the solicitation for number 1. But this is a group of characters that I think sounds really interesting. It is the Super Son, Catman, Dreamer, Deadshot, Gossamer, and Black Alice. I think that is a very interesting party of characters that I want to check out.
Excellent. All right, well, then that is going to do it for the DC section as well. I will kick it off here with the Independents. Once I up the text font size on my screen so I don't have to squint to read it. Here it is. First one I'm excited for is the Bloody Best of Lenore hardcover. The 25th anniversary collection of fan favorite stories by Roman Dirge, featuring the little dead girl Lenore, including babysitting Ragamuffin, the fugly duckling, had to pronounce that correctly, and more. The Bloody Best of Lenore collects fan favorite stories by creator. Okay, it's repeating itself. Collecting it from the volumes of 1 through 5, an embossed hardcover edition. This collection will also have a special bonus material section, Lenore and Friends, which features never before seen art material and also includes an afterword written by Roman Dirge himself. Recently on the podcast, I had this by my side as a reminder to dip into more Lenore. I talked about the I Can Count to 10, the very much mature rated adult content I Can Count to 10 book. Do not recommend this to kids. That's just me covering myself here. And I've had this at my side, knowing that I was going to dip into some Lenore comics proper beyond the free comic book day specials, and glad I waited just a couple extra weeks because now this 25th anniversary edition collecting some stories. So I'm excited to take advantage of that with this anniversary. That is the Bloody Best of Lenore. Kirby?
I have Medieval Spawn number 1 of 4. Miniseries premiere, Medieval Spawn's past has been a mystery to most until now. The miniseries explores the background of one of the most enigmatic of all the Hellspawns. Fighting dragons, wizards, and hordes of monsters, Sir John of York cuts a bloody path across history. I was surprised that they waited this long to bring him out, because with the whole separation runs that they did with all the different spawns and stuff, they started out the story with Medieval Spawn in it, and then he just kind of disappeared. So I was surprised that happened, but glad to see they brought him back.
Excellent. Katie, anything from the indies?
Yes. So, from Viz Media, continuing a series I've been reading, we have Kaiju number 8, the B-side, volume 1. Kaiju number 8, main character is Kafka Habino. Looks like the B-side's going to be focusing on other characters throughout the Defense Force and Kafka Habino's former Kaiju cleanup team. It's by Naoya Matsumoto, Keiji Ando, and Kentaro Hidano. This is going to be focusing on Hoshina. Originally told you should give up on joining the Defense Force. Hoshina's not your average kaiju fighter. Armed with a signature sword, he shakes free of the doubts of the past, determined to take down kaiju and make a name for himself. It'll be available on April 9th, 2025. It's going to be $12. And coming up here in just a few weeks, we have Kaiju number 8, volume 12. So go ahead, get previews in for both of those. Also, I apologize to those creators because I think I completely messed up your names, but love what you're doing.
Is that manga?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Excellent. Jim, anything from the independent catalogs? Audio, please.
I'm finding one that looks interesting to me from Image Comics. It is I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer.
Yes.
And I can't get it to pull up right now.
I can have it in just a second here. I've got the synopsis. I can read it for you.
You?
So yeah, this is on my list as well. It's a mini-series premiere. Rennie Bethery has just been accepted into New York City's most prestigious fashion school. Her designs are daring, edgy, and singular, and made of human flesh. Did we forget to mention that Rennie is a serial killer who simply wants to be a fashion designer instead? Stupid, pesky, murderous urges.
What do you do?
What more do you need?
Yeah, it has there's a I think a variant cover. I think is was that the Demi Moore cover, a very famous Demi Moore cover, if we probably could all
Oh,
imagine. So
Mhm.
there's that, but with bloody hands and blood dripping all over the place, and yeah. But yeah,
I
the, the
think of
title of the title of I was a fashion school serial killer is intriguing. Okay, so yeah, Jim, that is on my list as well. Jumping back to mine here, let me just get back to where I was, finding the list. Oh yes, I was excited to see a volume two of this book. I talked about volume one on here. All right. This is Cindy and Biscuit, Volume 2, Wild Wild Life. The trouble seeking, monster bashing duo, Cindy and Biscuit, are back at it again. This time, Cindy and her four legged best friend are keeping busy thwarting alien abductions, battling demonic dolls, and patrolling the nearby woods for all kinds of creepy, crawly, spine chilling creatures, normal kid stuff. Oh yeah, there we go. Normal kid stuff. If only unsuspecting parents and school teachers knew of the dangers lurking around every corner. But sometimes being an unsung hero means class participation in between all of the adventures. These dark and delightful tales pack in scares, action, thrills, and occasional quiet devastation. Cindy and Biscuit, Wild Wild Life collects even more of UK indie comics phenom Dan White's long running series and includes brand new stories for readers of all ages. So, yeah, this is a little girl and her dog. She has a giant mallet. I love the title of Cindy and Biscuit. I talked about the first book on this podcast. I didn't know anything about this creator, and once I saw Cindy and Biscuit pop up into the catalog, I'm on for life. So that's a fun little series there. Cindy and Biscuit, Wild Wild Life. Kirby?
Speaking of wildlife, I got Moonshine Bigfoot number 1 of 4. Buzzard County, 1981. Moonshine Bigfoot spends his days making a living while outwitting clueless cops, reckless rivals, and buffoonish Bigfoot hunters. All is hunky dory until he draws the attention of an Illuminati esque cabal. With his partner in life and crime, Amethyst, our hairy hero is about to learn that some problems can't be handled just by jumping them in a souped up Mach 1. It's a 30-page story, and it sounds like it's basically going to play off the Dukes of Hazards.
awesome.
Yeah, that's on my list as well because you can't go wrong with a comic called Moonshine Bigfoot. So
No,
they did something
That's
smart there. It's not my turn yet, but just remember this wildlife theme that we had where I said a wildlife
Mhm.
related thing, then Kirby did, because when we get back around to me, we're going to carry this into a thread. But first, Katie, what you got?
I also have a semi-wildlife related thing. I have Cat and Crazy #1 by Wataru Nadatani. I have reviewed their series Cat and Gamer a few times on the podcast, so I was interested to see that they're starting a new series. So it is a humorous manga starring high schooler Kensuke Fuji, who adores cats, but everyone else in his family is allergic, so he's never been allowed to have one. But when he meets a mysteriously skilled cat guru, Kensuke finds a kindred spirit who is also absolutely kitty bonkers. So instead of crazy cat lady, we have a crazy cat high schooler and a cat guru. If this is going to be like Cat and Gamer, which I'm assuming it'll be really similar, it's a really cute slice of life, very easy to, pick up and read. It's just about people and their lives as new cat owners, and occasionally we get the perspectives of the cats, which is pretty cute. This is an advanced solicit. It will be available on July 23rd, 2025. It's going to be $13. And if you are interested in cat 7 will be coming out at the end of February. So check out Cat and Crazy by Wataru Nadatani.
Excellent. Jim, there's a lot of pressure here, but any kind of wildlife related comic you want to talk about?
No, but Heavy Metal Magazine's coming back, so that looks kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Ooh.
There we go. So yeah, to pick up on the wildlife thread, I was excited to talk about this so much that I'm going to have to show the picture, and this should pop up, I think, because it needs to be seen, because I am talking about Laser Moose and Rabbit Boy, Spider Mania. Um, Laser Moose and Rabbit Boy are back for a cliffhanger adventure when a spider begins taking control of all of the forest animals in the fifth book from this outrageous, hilarious, beloved series. I put this in my cart because it's a reminder to me to look into the past. I don't know. If I would have seen Laser Moose, I'd be talking about it right here. So
Yeah,
I
I can't believe I never heard of it. It's 5 episodes in.
Yeah, so maybe this is just some sort of deal where this is now being put into the catalog that we didn't see it because Laser Moose would have been mentioned on this podcast all of this time. It's a new day in the forest, and the creatures there are beginning to act strange. They're getting glowing purple eyes and sneezing out web, and seem set on biting other animals and spreading it to everyone in the woods. When their nemesis, the cyborgupine, is bit, Laser Moose and Rabbit Boy set out to solve the mystery and find a way to save the forest once again before their own brainwashed friends can stop them. So yeah, you have a moose with laser eyes, a bunny who's excitedly riding the moose, and they're firing at just a herd of spiders. I mean, what more could anybody want in a comic book?
I'm gonna file that under why didn't I think of that?
Yep, pretty much. So, yeah, I'm excited to look into those other books, and hopefully they are readily available, published by Amp Kids. So I don't know if I haven't heard of that. So maybe it's a new publisher that picked them up, the fifth book in the series or something. But yeah, Laser Moose and Rabbit Boy, check it out. Kirby.
We got giant size wacky races
Ooh.
featuring 40 pages of story and art. Thrilled to the all new adventures of Penelope Pitstop. This giant size one shot features 3 thrilling chapters that take us on a high octane adventure from writer Ivan Cohen and superstar artist in the making Mariano Benitez or Chapo. Featuring a race for the ages with tough and beautiful Penelope. I always want to say Penelope. Handsome and mysterious
Not
Peter
laughing at you.
Perfect. And of course, Dick Dastardly. And a new look at Muttley. All of this action and high-speed adventure under 3 covers. Joseph Michael Lisner, cool. Agal Galaman and Robert Hack. I wonder if it's got the Robert Hack diamond insert. Ivan Cohen has written titles starring some of the best loved, and okay, all that goes on and on and on. But yeah, wacky races, and it's got a sketch cover. I'm gonna probably need like 3 of those because I gotta do Captain Caveman Team 1 and and a couple of the other teams.
Is it done in the original style or is it a new style of drawing?
I don't have no inside art at all, but
okay.
And if you need other character ideas for the sketch cover, you got, Laser Moose, Rabbit Boy, all of the famous characters.
Oh yeah, and Scooby Doo and the Munster family and stuff. All those I love.
All right, Katie.
All right, so my last pick from the indies is over at Image Comics. It is called Lost Fantasy #1. It's written by Kurt Pyries, and the art is by Luca Casalanguida. This looks like it's going to be a fantasy series, which is a pretty easy sell for me. It says there is a world of magic, myth, and monsters that exists beneath the surface of our own. Since first contact was made over 100 years ago, the great hunters have kept us safe from the creatures that lurk in the shadows. But last night, something broke through, and it's up to rookie monster hunter Henry Blackheart to stop it. I'm open to trying this. I hope I love it. It's going to be available on April 30th, 2025. It's going to be $5, and it does say they're having kind of a little serial cartoon running in the back of this. So if anyone is a Indigo Children Exodus fan, they're going to be in here too. I don't know what that is, but I'm excited to check out Lost Fantasy #1 from Image Comics. And that's my last pick from the big catalog, but I am open to club picks.
Awesome. Jim, anything left for you?
Nothing that I can see right now.
All right, we'll ping pong back and forth between myself and Kirby and finish off the list. Another great title here. I'm getting it Legion of Exceptional Gorilla Men. Yes. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a super simian. When the world is in danger and no mere mortal man can save it, we need the only supergroup in the ape nation, the Legion of Exceptional Gorilla Men. Gorillas with powers beyond the wildest dreams of an ordinary chimp join forces to save their captured comrades from a diabolically evil mad scientist, Dr. Fang. Despite their exceptional abilities, the question remains, can they set aside their savage instincts for the good of gorilla kind? Or will they slip on the banana peel of destiny? Find out here in the Legion of Exceptional Gorilla Men. So, yep, that's another title that just got me by the literal title, so I will pick that up. Kirby?
Red Sonja versus the Army of Darkness, #1. Featuring everyone's favorite Deadite slaying bumbling hero, Ashley J. Williams, as he sends himself once again back in time. To the wrong time. Only this time he faces Red Sonja, she-devil with a sword, and lurking in the shadows, Galan Goth himself, and if the most dread wizard of the Hyborian age gets his hands on the Necronomicon, well, shit, that ain't gonna be good. What I've liked to do here is use the Army of Darkness dark magic stuff and infuse it into Sonja's Hyborian age. So we can do a modernized take on those earliest Thomas Jones Throne Buscema comics, gritty, dark, sword and sorcery, full of weird monsters and grim morality. Tales, the difference being that Sonja is now weighed down by Ash, who is, as always, kind of a moron who ruins things, is totally enamored with Sonja. You got Seeley with Tim Seeley featuring art by Jim Terry. So Tim Seeley right there sells it to me. Yeah.
Jim Terry's
like everything Ash.
Jim Terry's a great one too. He's local to us.
Oh yeah,
local-ish.
Yeah, they've worked together because I know I have them on other works too from Dynamite.
Jim Terry was at the Warrior Con that I tabled at, so I feel honored just to table across from Jim Terry. And I showed he went by everybody's table in our little like artist alley half circle and was introducing himself. He was looking at everybody's stuff and just wanted to see what everybody was doing. And then a couple years ago, I had talked about him and Ryan Brown did a one-issue thing called Trash Bridge, and it was like a very limited, expensive one issue that Ryan sold at his table, and it's something that just never happened beyond the one issue, and blah blah blah. And so I told Jim Terry that, being like, "Oh, I was a big fan of Trash Bridge," and then he was looking at my stuff, and then I had to tell him, what Rice Christopher was, which was just hilarious, but. Jim Terry does great work, so him and Tim Seeley together, that sounds like a great partnership. Next on my list, I did not know these are coming out, and I probably will hold back from buying them because I have the hardcover version. But the Mad Maniverse is coming out in omnibus trade paperback version now. So if you want a more affordable version, because they release these hardcovers that range up to $100 to $125, but now they have paperback editions, which I think Kirby might be regretting. He probably wanted, maybe some paperback versions. Yeah, he's probably got the stack. There's the lineup there of the collection. If you're, once again, follow Crimson Cowl Comic Club over on YouTube to see all of that. So I'm holding up. Yeah, so they're starting with volume 1. They're starting. What's that, D-Brad?
Oh, I'd like to get that.
Yeah, so now there's going to be paperback versions. So let me just cut to. This is the quick synopsis. They just run through all of the creator-owned stuff, so non-X-Men, non-Batman, non-Silver Surfer, all the Madman related stuff, and anything that they've self-published with their own creators. Non-iZombie, I should mention that as well. But the first volume, 680 page, it collects Madman adventures from 1990 to 96, reprinting For the Record, which was the original Frank Einstein appearance of character later becoming Madman. And a bunch of other Mike Allred stuff. These series, these collections, present black and white comics, and they're colored for the first time in these collections. The one that I might double dip on will be the one I'm holding up here, which is the Volume 6 edition. Because I don't know, I don't think this might be breaking news for Crimson Cowl Comic Club, because I don't think I've ever mentioned that I've been drawn into an issue of X-Ray Robot by Mike and Laura Allred. Yeah, first time I've ever got to mention that at the club. So I have it bookmarked with the ribbon in that specific page. But so I think I think I should be able to skip the soft cover versions. I say that now, but I think by the volume 6 I'll probably buy that one just because my face is in it. So
All right.
so yeah, that is mostly a plug. So people who were out, myself and Kirby talking about Allred and Madman and all that stuff. And now here's a more affordable way to get all of these comics in paperback form. The Madmaniverse editions. Kirby?
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm happy I got the hardcovers. They're nice and protected.
Cool.
It's a comic I care a lot about. But yeah, I seen it number one in the catalog. I didn't realize it was trade paperback form. I just assumed they were re-representing them again.
Yep.
All right. We got Nacelliverse, The Great Garloo, number 0. The climax of the first year of the Nacelliverse is upon us, and out of the ashes the Great Garloo rises. Since the events of Nacelliverse number 0, the orphaned alien Garloo has crossed the cosmos, gearing up with Roboforce, racing alongside the biker mice from Mars, witnessing the power of the Sectors, warriors of Symbion, and so many more heroes along the way. Now on his newly adopted home Earth, he's found his true purpose and made peace with his destiny as the last remaining survivor of the doomed planet Larlon. Or so he thought. When faced with an epic choice between his friends and a new kind of destiny among the cosmos, can Garloo discover what it takes to be not just good, but great? Capping off the first epic year of the Nacelliverse. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. The rest of the Nacelliverse has been a lot of fun.
Here's a title that possibly could be on Kirby's list. We'll find out in a second. Monster Tag Team. Have you heard of Monster Tag Team? This here, the first rule of Monster Tag Team is to always expect the unexpected. An unstoppable killing machine plucked straight from your deepest childhood nightmares, fueled by pain and malice. A creature bred by both man and magic, born to protect that which it can only imitate, with an immortal soul longing for humanity. A decades-old feud comes to a climactic end when one of their, or only one survives. Boogeyman versus Scarecrow. Lock your doors, check under the bed, and keep your closet door shut. I almost said closest door shut. That too. This one's going to get messy. Now, the Monster Tag Team, there's a couple listed in this catalog. The Boogeyman and Scarecrow, which I just mentioned. And there's another issue that has the, holding up here, this is the Werewolf and Wolf and Bat, they're calling it. So yeah, is it just Dracula? Yep.
Basically a werewolf versus vampire.
So yeah, they have some cool throwback cover in the styles of like the Marvel 2-in-1 and stuff like that. So having the banner treatment at the top and things like that. So Monster Tag Team, I'm gonna get those.
I don't think he's done any covers for him, but Mark Spears would be perfect for that. But he's been coming out with those monster ones that just pop all those fancy colors in there.
Cool. Anything else?
Yeah, I didn't have any other ones. The rest are all ongoing.
All right, I'm in the final list here, so I will rattle these off. This is another adorable little book here from Paper Cuts called Paw and Order, Volume 1. It's called The Grilled Cheese Caper. The annual grilled cheese festival is ruined when someone steals all the sandwiches, and it's up to Paw and Order detectives Perlock and Marlowe to figure out who did it. Was it Ginny Giraffe, who was upset that Grilled Cheese Festival kept her from putting on her art festival? Was it Coach Alan Alligator, who was banned from the festival the year before? Or was it Perlock's arch nemesis? Oh boy, here we go. Oh, it's like Moriarty, but Moriarty. Meowiarty, who was behind the dastardly deed. In Jason Platt's funny and delightful illustrated book, readers will have the opportunity to put their paw in order. Scroll down, detective hat on to try and solve the crime alongside Perlock and Marlowe. It does say it's an illustrated book, but I don't know if that's in like a storybook format. But it sounds adorable. Paw and Order is a great name. T. Brad's holding up the image there. Do you know anything about this, or are you just curious?
I just wanted to see what it looked like.
Yep. So yeah, from Paper Cuts. So they put out some great stuff that we know the creators.
Yeah. When I typed it into my phone, paw in order, it was trying to guess what I really wanted, and it said paw, law, and order, SVU.
That's definitely not it. That Paper Cuts does not produce that. This one here, I am really drawn to. This is called Rocky Moon Investigator. Um, let's see here. The main character, okay, Rocky Moon, the main character, is a straight edge investigator made of moon rock. Holly Hyde is his street smart, wisecracking assistant. Together, they investigate supernatural crimes involving monsters, supervillains, robots, aliens, UFOs, and government cover ups. Though appropriate for all ages, it doesn't pander to children. It has a really cool, like, it looks like a Darwin Cook esque and Jay Stevens. If those two combined together, actually, since I have the image here, I can probably bring it up real quick on the share screen. I was getting a vibe of like Jay Stevens and Darwin Cook in this kind of mashup of their design and their style and stuff. But I kind of like just
And Jughead.
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, this is looks weird and fun, and I'm excited to check out Rocky Moon Investigator.
Or Mac tonight.
Yeah, yeah. I this will be a little reveal. I didn't win it, but I've been eyeing up. There's this giant like Mac Tonight costume that somebody has. I don't know. I think it's the original mascot one at McDonald's or something. It's a lot of money, so I'm not buying it. But part of me was thinking, man, I would just love to just walk around in a Mac Tonight costume. So
One day,
Doug,
your
Doug
dreams will come
Jones,
true.
Doug Jones played Mac Tonight. If nobody knew that.
I did not know that.
And then this one is a really cool idea. It is called Scream Queen's Sketchbook One Shot. Do you want to sketch up a story of a sultry sir or siren pursued by evil, but you're desperately cornered by the killer creative block or deadly deadline? Feeling hopeless terror when confronted by the vast emptiness of the blank page? Don't panic. Arm yourself with art supplies and reference material, find a safe spot with food and water, and hack those fears to pieces. Emerge victorious as the final girl, boy, other of the horror tale of your dreams. Kirby talked about a Kickstarter that was offering a blank, like interior edition to kind of draw your own story into something. This sounds like it's blank interiors from what I read there, and I see Scream Queen's sketchbook, and immediately I'm thinking this would be an awesome jam piece to get. Take each page and just commission a writer at the Comic Con, or I could have a writer do it too. An author, an artist, a cartoonist at a Comic Con draw something Scream Queen related, and then yeah. So I'm going to purposely use it not for myself to draw in, but to have a collection of kind of horror themed commissions. I think that would be a cool thing, and it's like $3 or $4 or $5 or something. So Scream Queen's one shot sketchbook, and I think that is it. Yes, that is it. But we could not get close to covering everything, so always recommend to reach out to your local comic book shops, your preferred online retailers. Look at all the catalogs. There's 500 plus pages of items. It's always important to pre-order your books. Let the creators know, the stores know, publishers know that you want their comics, so they know they can get them for you and that there's interest to do more. So thank you for checking out the previous preview. We're going to just wrap up the plugs as quick as I can possibly do here. First, I'm thanking everyone who came out to Milwaukee MightyCon. At the time of this recording, it's a week away, but when you guys watch this and listen to this, it's already happened. Millions upon millions of people were standing in line at the Crimson Cowl media table to meet David Gloyd and myself. It was super cool. They had to extend the hours into a 2-day event because there were so many people that showed up at Milwaukee Comic Con. But if you were at Milwaukee Comic Con, you probably picked up my first ever comic book, Rice Christopher, the Wednesday afternoon special. And for the first time actually saying it on the Crimson Cowl podcast, you also picked up the second issue, which is Rice Christopher, the Pineapple Holiday Special, the official podcast reveal of this comic book. I didn't have this in hand.
Yay.
I didn't have this in hand when we recorded the last Cartoonist by Nights. I've been waiting to show this off. So officially, it is out there. 2 comic books. I got copies of both of them. If you want to get those copies, reach out to me, latchkeykid@gmail.com, LAATSCH. All Ages Adventures, Rice Christopher. You can read them in any order that you please. They're fun. They have some activities in them. All ages, adventure, crazy, comedy, goodness. So I am now a 2-time comic book creator. It feels good to officially say that now that the physical copies have arrived. So thank you to everybody who came out to MightyCon. We'll have some more shows coming up. Just follow my social media at Anthony Laatsch, LAATSCH, for some more shows to talk about. There's a big one that's going to be local to us that we're going to wait for David Gloyd to come back on the show to talk all about what that one is. So just had to say that up top. CrimsonCowl.com for info and original webcomics. Crimson Cowl Comic Club on YouTube's. Yep, you can subscribe, hit the bell, notify, comment, and all that fun stuff. Crimson Cowl Comic Club on iTunes is what I meant to say in that first one. Subscribe, rate, and review, all of that fun stuff. Kirby, in order to get me time to take a drink here, tell everybody about Under the Call of MS and what's been going on over there.
Oh, we got lots of unboxing videos and our standard podcast video and stuff. By the time this episode comes out, I will have single comic book reviews back up and running because I have 3 of them already sitting here ready to get recorded. So I will definitely have some more of those. So check out the channel. Lots of fun stuff. See what I put up.
Mhm.
Excellent. So yes, subscribe to Under the Call of MS wherever you get your podcasts and over on YouTube and all across the social media. Check out Cartoonist by Night, who one of the cast members is here with us, D. Brad Gibson. We recently had 2 guests. The episode's up on the internet, so people can watch that now. But we had both Eric Marshall and Natsuki, who are from the creative team of Jungle Drama, is not only the first issue, but more importantly for the second issue as well, because Natsuki was the colorist on this. She went from variant cover artist on the first one to another variant cover artist on the second one, but also graduated up to colorist for the interiors, alongside Troy Dungara, Danny Harrell, and all of our friends over there at the Jungle Drama crew. So yeah, there's an episode where we talk about the Phantom, the comic strip character, the Phantom from the
From King.
yes. And from the late 30s, the origins of superhero characters existing. Yeah, that episode's up on Cartoonist by Night. We hang out and draw, talk, have a lot of fun, and so subscribe to us, Cartoonist by Night. We are getting ready to lock in our next guest as we actually are approaching another anniversary coming up soon. Not only will it be the ooh, so is that an old Phantom there, or is that yeah?
That's an old one, yeah.
Oh, cool.
What's in the corner?
Is it Laser Moose, or Laser Eyes? Nope.
Genius.
The Genius, featuring the Genius.
Hmm.
So yes, check out Cartoonist by Night over on YouTube. A fun drawing show, whether you want to pick up your art supplies and draw along or listen and watch. It's a fun time over on YouTube. That is going to do it. Oh yeah, my art account's and Anthony Laatsch, LAATSCH, at Anthony Laatsch on Facebook and Instagram. And yeah, that is going to do it. Thank you, D. Brad, for joining us once again for one of the Disney Marvel crossovers. Always great to have your insight and expertise and your overall love for these characters and the medium of comic books and cartoons. So thanks again, D. Brad.
Thank you.
And that is going to do it. That is going to do it for this episode. This whole time, I've been in love with an inventor.
I've been helping Kato and Usagi deal with some annoying mice.
Ooh.
I've been a cauliflower peep.
Line form's on the right, babe.
All right. And I've been wearing thing pants.
To be continued.